Let's break up, Julian. Tiffany Sterling's voice was cold, filtered through the tinny speaker of the smartphone. Why? Tiffany, we've been together for 5 years. I asked calmly, my eyes drifting to the resume held in my other hand. It was her resume. 5 years? Huh. Tiffany let out a scoff, dripping with ridicule. Julian Thorne, what have I gotten out of these 5 years? Eating at street carts with you? Hesitating for 6 months just to buy a decent handbag? I've had enough of this dead-end, mediocre life. Her voice rose an octave, filled with a newfound sense of superiority. I'll tell you this. I just got an offer from Titan Global Holdings. A starting salary of $75,000 plus bonuses. And a 10-year contract. Do you know what Titan Global is? It's a Fortune 500 company. From now on, we live in 2 different worlds. You don't deserve me anymore. Click. The call ended. Facing Tiffany's brutal rejection, I felt no sadness. Instead, a flicker of amusement danced in my eyes. Titan Global. I repeated the name slowly, the amusement deepening. I knew Titan Global well. After all, I was its sole owner. I looked up at the antique bronze clock hanging on the wall. The hour hand clicked into place at exactly 12:08 p.m. 5 years. It is finished, I whispered, the corners of my mouth curling upward. That clock was a Louis XVI original, valued at $40 million. The curator said it was salvaged from the ruins of a French palace. $40 million to me was what $40 was to the average Joe. I had a warehouse full of antiques like this. The 5-year dormancy protocol is officially complete. Congratulations, host. Reward unlocked. Biological immortality. Hearing the mechanical notification of the system echo in my mind, the stone that had been weighing on my heart finally lifted. In an instant, the chronic pain and weakness that had plagued my body vanished, replaced by an inexhaustible, surging vitality. 5 years ago, my career was peaking, but I was diagnosed with a terminal illness. The doctors gave me 3 months. Perhaps fate had mercy on me. I activated the Tycoon system. The system required me to execute a dormancy protocol, to live in poverty for 5 years. If I completed the mission, I would be granted eternal life. To survive, I had to follow the rules strictly. I stepped down from my ivory tower as a CEO and transformed into a humble, overworked nobody. Following the mission script, I met Tiffany. I thought she was a good woman, someone worth trusting. Unfortunately, I was blind. For 5 years, I endured the eye rolls and mockery of Tiffany's entire family. I handed over my paycheck, surviving on a $50 monthly allowance. If I bought a cheap beer, I was forced to kneel on a washboard. If I ate an extra bowl of rice, I got slapped. I lost count of how many times her mother pointed a finger in my face, calling me a loser. So, this was how the other half lived? It was unbearable. My only solace was a ginger tabby cat named Nugget. He was my emotional anchor. Without Nugget, I wouldn't have survived the ordeal. Now, the shackles were broken. I was reborn. I didn't care about Tiffany breaking up with me. I wasn't going to run to her, play the hidden billionaire card, slap her with stacks of cash, and make her regret everything in some cliché soap opera scene. I only care about Nugget. I needed to get him back. A knock sounded at the office door. Enter, I said, my voice deep and resonant. Good afternoon, Chairman. I'm your new executive assistant, Scarlett Vance. A woman walked in, imposing curves, an hourglass figure that defied logic, dressed in a tight black business suit. She bowed deeply. As she bent, the neckline of her blouse offered a deliberate, blooming view. I knew she did it on purpose. I chose to view it with the eye of an art critic admiring a sculpture. This was the privilege of power and wealth. As a superior, you didn't need to shy away. You learned to accept it nonchalantly. Chairman, here is the list of recent hires for your review. Scarlett placed a folder on my Zeton rosewood desk and stood obediently to the side. I nodded, opened the file, and scanned it rapidly. There were about 100 new hires. My ex-girlfriend, Tiffany Sterling, was on the list. Logically, with her average state college degree, she never would have made it into Titan Global. I was the one who opened the back door for her. Consider it compensation for concealing my identity for 5 years. From now on, she was on her own. Chairman, is there an issue with the list? Scarlett asked. No issues. Approved. I signed the document calmly. Shall I deliver this to HR now? Or would you like me to tidy up the office first? Scarlett asked, her voice dropping to a curious, intimate tone. You haven't been back in a long time, have you? It's a bit dusty. I nodded slightly. Deliver the file first, then come back and clean. By the way, I added, I'm not a fan of the standard black business suit. When you return, I expect you to be wearing the Catwoman cosplay outfit. Scarlett smiled subtly, leaned over, and kissed my cheek, her tone dripping with seduction. Chairman, please wait for me. The night passed with nothing but the sounds of heavy breathing. I rose from Scarlett's exquisite form. With her assistance, I changed into a casual jacket, something that looked ordinary to the untrained eye but was actually bespoke Italian tailoring. I was about to step out of the Titan Global HQ when I ran straight into my ex-girlfriend, Tiffany. She was wearing a brand new business suit, looking radiant. She froze. Then her face twisted into a mask of disgust and suspicion. "Julian, are you stalking me? Wasn't I clear enough yesterday? We are from two different worlds now, and you followed me to my company to harass me. Do you have no shame?" I smiled faintly, treated her like air, and prepared to walk past. But my silence, my refusal to explain, my complete disregard seemed to enrage her. It hurt her ego. At least that was my guess. I never quite understood the logic of petty people, even after living among them for 5 years. Her next reaction was nauseating. As if terrified her new colleagues would see her associating with a loser like me, she suddenly jumped back, pointed a finger at me, and screamed, "Help! Pervert! He's harassing me!" It was rush hour. The entrance was packed. Her scream instantly drew everyone's attention. Several burly security guards surrounded us. The head of security, Captain Miller, stepped forward with a stern face. "What's going on here?" Tiffany latched onto Captain Miller's arm like he was her savior. "This creep has been stalking me. He even came to the office in trance to harass me today. Please, just throw him out." She glanced at me triumphantly, her eyes saying, "See, this is the gap between us. You don't belong here. Sir, this is Titan Global Property. If you want to cause trouble, be prepared for the consequences." Captain Miller pulled out his baton, blocking my path. Clearly, he wanted to play the white knight. "Captain Miller," I said, removing my baseball cap to reveal my face. "Isn't it inappropriate to label me a pervert without asking for the full story?" The next second, Captain Miller's body went rigid. Terror flashed in his eyes. He snapped into a military-grade posture of attention, saluting sharply. His voice boomed with awe and fear. "Chairman." Behind him, the other guards snapped to attention and saluted. Tiffany's eyes bulged. What? Chair. Chairman. I thought Tiffany would realize the situation. Sadly, I overestimated her intelligence. "Julian, are you serious? You hired actors to try and win me back." Tiffany sneered. "Look at you. Do you really think you look like a chairman?" She refused to believe it. I didn't bother explaining. My mind was on Nugget. I walked straight toward the exit. At that moment, the low, powerful roar of engines approached. 3 black Rolls-Royce Phantoms pulled up in perfect formation at the entrance. Doors opened. A team of bodyguards in black suits and earpieces, radiating intense menace, stepped out and lined up. The leader, a middle-aged man with eyes as sharp as a hawk, walked with a steady gait. It was my head of personal security, Gunner. 10 minutes ago, I had texted him, "The 5 years are up. Come get me." Gunner walked straight to me, dropped to one knee, bowed his head, and spoke with metallic precision. "Chairman, the term is complete. We welcome your return." "Welcome back, Chairman." The roar of the bodyguards behind him shook the air. Gunner had a flair for drama. I neither opposed nor encouraged it. But this thunderous display turned Tiffany into a statue. She finally understood. She bit her lip, feigning a pitiful expression, and moved toward me. "Julian, are you really?" "Step back, ma'am. Maintain a safe distance from a chairman." Before she could get close, Gunner blocked her path, his voice ice cold. Tiffany stood there, awkward and flustered. I didn't spare her a glance. Instead, my sharp gaze fell on Captain Miller. "Captain Miller, go to HR immediately and submit your resignation." "Chairman, Miller tried to speak. I didn't give him the chance. I walked away. As the head of security, his performance was abysmal. First, he judged without evidence. Second, when Tiffany continued to harass me after I revealed my identity, he stayed silent instead of defending me. That was betrayal. I paid the man 6 figures. I paid for loyalty, and he gave me hesitation? He was done. Surrounded by Gunner and the team, I slid into the back seat of the center Rolls-Royce. The convoy merged into traffic. "Chairman, where to?" Gunner asked from the passenger seat. "To the Sterling residence. I'm getting Nugget back." Nugget, the stray cat I picked up during my lowest point, was the only warm light in those 5 dark years. I wouldn't leave him in that hellhole. The convoy stopped beneath the old, peeling apartment building where Tiffany's parents lived. I ordered the others to wait and went up with Gunner. We knocked. Tiffany's mother, Mrs. Sterling, a perpetually bitter woman, opened the door. Seeing me, her lip curled in habitual disdain. "Oh, if it isn't the big shot Julian. Tiffany broke up with you. Why are you still shamelessly hanging around? Get lost. Don't dirty my floor." Tiffany's father and her deadbeat brother, Chad, walked over. Chad leaned against the doorframe, sneering. Mom, why waste breath on this loser? He's probably broke and hungry, looking for a free meal. Too bad, we'd rather feed the leftovers to the dog. Gunnar twitched, ready to strike. I raised a hand to stop him. I didn't want to waste time on trash. I'm here for my cat, Nugget, I said. The cat. Mrs. Sterling paused, then laughed as if she'd heard a joke. You mean that fat thing? We threw it out ages ago. It ate too much. Waste of food. My eyes went instantly cold. Gunnar didn't need a verbal command. He stepped forward, grabbed Mrs. Sterling by the throat, and tossed her to the floor like a sack of garbage. You hit my mom in my house. I'll kill you, Chad screamed, lunging at me. He didn't even get close. Gunnar kicked him midair, sending him flying across the room. Gunnar then advanced on Mr. Sterling like a tiger. Mr. Sterling's legs gave out. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. My wife was joking. Nugget wasn't thrown out. He's in the bathroom. I exhaled and rushed to the bathroom. Pushing the door open, I saw Nugget lying on the cold tiles, looking incredibly weak. He had lost weight, and his fur was matted with grime. Hearing the door, he looked up and let out a pitiful, aggrieved meow. It's okay, Nugget. I'm here to take you home. I bent down and gently scooped him up, feeling him nuzzle against me in reliance. But Mrs. Sterling had scrambled up and blocked the bathroom doorway. You can't take that cat. That's our cat. On what grounds are you taking it? And you hit me and my son. You have to pay, or I'll sue you. She wanted extortion. The corner of my mouth lifted. Money was the thing I care about least. How much do you want? I asked mockingly. For the cat and medical bills. 200,000. She opened her mouth wide like a lion. Gunnar, pay them, I said calmly. Gunnar nodded, opened a briefcase, took out $500,000 in cash, and dumped it onto the living room floor. The family's eyes almost popped out of their skulls. They never dreamed I was this rich. Did you win a lottery? Mrs. Sterling asked tentatively. I ignored her and turned to leave. Downstairs, inside the car, I stroked Nugget gently. Gunnar, I said softly, my money is never charity for the wicked. Understood, Chairman. Gunnar nodded. He signaled a few bodyguards who pulled on ski masks and headed up the stairs. I could hear the muffled sounds of crashing and screaming from the apartment above. Clearly, the Sterlings were getting a lesson. Moments later, the team returned. Chairman, the 500,000 is all here. Gunnar handed the briefcase back. I nodded, opened the case, took out a stack of bills, and waved it in front of Nugget. Nugget, I'm going to buy you the most expensive cat food, okay? Nugget seemed to understand. His big eyes looked at me, and he meowed. Then, using all four paws, he hugged the stack of cash tight against his chest. It was as if he knew the value of those green bills. It melted my heart. I went to a high-end pet spa, got Nugget washed and groomed, and bought the most expensive premium feed. Then, I took him straight back to the Titan Global office. Chairman, while you were out, I cleaned the office from top to bottom, Scarlett reported, leaning in close. I had to admit, Scarlett was clever. She had modified the Catwoman costume. What was meant to be fully enclosed latex was now strategically ventilated. It turned cute into aggressive sexuality. Interesting. Good work. Here is my secondary black card. Go buy whatever you want. I handed her the card. Thank you, Chairman. Scarlett took the card with trembling fingers and planted a kiss on me. She wanted to proceed further, but I waved her off. Leave for now. I have work. Once alone, I dove into the data. I reviewed every financial report. During my 5 years of remote control via the system, the general direction remained correct, but internally, parasites had bred. Specifically, the ambitious vice president, Victor Stone. According to my intel, ever since I announced my retirement 5 years ago, Victor Stone had been consolidating power, tried to replace me as the true ruler of Titan Global. I sneered internally. You? Worthy. Watch closely, Victor. I'm going to pluck your feathers one by one until you're nothing but a naked chicken. Let me in. I need to see Julian. I'm his girlfriend. Commotion erupted in the hallway. It was Tiffany. Scarlett was blocking her. Miss Sterling, I apologize. Without an appointment, no one sees the chairman. Furthermore, I am informed you and the chairman have broken up. You liar. He did that to make me mad. Julian, come out. You had the guts to lie to me for 5 years, but you don't have the guts to face me. Tiffany was sobbing, pounding on the heavy mahogany doors, looking utterly aggrieved. Anyone who didn't know better would think I was the villain. I sat behind my massive desk, watching the farce on the security monitor. After a moment of thought, I hit the intercom. Send Gunnar. My order was executed faithfully. Within a minute, Gunnar escorted a disheveled Tiffany out of the building. I assumed that would be enough reality for her. The loser boyfriend she used to boss around was now a god she couldn't even touch. However, I overestimated Tiffany's dignity. A few days later, I was being interviewed live on a major city TV morning show as a returning business tycoon. Tiffany suddenly rushed the stage, right in front of the cameras. "I'm pregnant," she shouted at me. "It's your baby." The host and the audience froze. Eyes bulged. I knew her game. Roast me on public fire, force me to submit. But to me, this childish tactic could be described in 2 words: suicide mission. I rose from the gutter to lead a Fortune 500 company. Did she think I was soft? "Darling," I said with a smile for the cameras, "I'm in an interview. Such great news can wait until I get home." I shotgun her a look. He understood instantly. He respectfully ushered Tiffany off the stage as if she were a delicate princess, removing her from the broadcast. After the interview, I didn't go after Tiffany directly. I called in her direct supervisor. "Lisa, is your subordinate, Tiffany Sterling, mentally unstable, pulling a stunt like that?" I asked. Lisa stood there, head bowed, silent and trembling. "Or are you mentally unstable for hiring someone like that?" Lisa remained wisely silent. I appreciated her intelligence in not making excuses. One word of defense would have ended her career. "Your year-end bonus is canceled," I ordered coldly. That was a light punishment. Lisa nodded, holding back tears, and left. The next day, I heard from Scarlett that Tiffany had been fired by Lisa for stepping into the office with her left foot first. A confrontation ensued, and Lisa used her authority to terminate her. I tacitly approved. A few days later, my brother, Billy Ray Thorne, found me. Using his status as the chairman's brother and an old photo of us, he tricked Scarlett and slipped into my office. When I walked in, he was sitting in my leather chair, feet up on the desk, smoking one of my cigars. His shifty eyes were glued to Scarlett's chest. A side note, Billy Ray was not my biological brother. My parents died when I was young, and I was taken in by distant relatives. Billy Ray was their son. Technically, we were foster brothers. From the moment I could remember, every meal I ate had to be earned. No work, no food. Bad work meant a beating. I slept in a cattle shed. Can you imagine sleeping in a barn in the height of summer? Horseflies bigger than mosquitoes, biting chunks out of you. To them, I wasn't a son, I was a farmhand. That misery lasted until I was 18, when I saved enough for a train ticket and fled to the industrial zones to start my life. I hadn't seen him in years. Billy Ray must have seen the TV interview. "Yo, bro." Billy Ray grinned, slouching toward me with a swagger that screamed trash. He was cut from the same cloth as Tiffany's brother, Chad. Lazy, incompetent, a thief, and a gambler. I didn't shake his hand. I looked past him to Scarlett. "Go to finance. Get $10,000. Pay him to leave." Billy Ray's face darkened instantly. He got in my face, trying to project a tough guy aura. "Bro, what's that supposed to mean? 10 grand? You think I'm a beggar?" "Aren't you?" I asked coldly. "Huh." Billy Ray laughed, beginning his tirade. "You've changed, Julian. You think because you made it big, you can cut off your poor relatives? Here, take the money and get out." "Get out," I repeated calmly. Billy Ray dropped the act. He pointed a finger at my nose. "Listen here, Julian Thorne. We're family. Blood or not, we're connected. You can't just cut ties. 10 grand? I'm gonna leech off you for life. You think being chairman makes you special? To me, you're still just a cow-turd boy." I smiled faintly. "Little punk, who gave you the guts to talk to me like that? Did you think I built a billion-dollar empire by being nice?" I signaled Scarlett. She picked up the phone and summoned Gunner. Billy Ray continued to yap, acting like a dead pig unafraid of boiling water. "Julian, I came here for you to find me a wife. Your secretary looks good. I'll take her, and put $40 million in my account. Consider it your wedding gift to me. If you don't, Mom and Dad won't forgive you." I actually laughed. Who gave him the audacity to try and take my woman? I hadn't seen a hillbilly this delusional in a decade. Gunner arrived a minute later. Without a word, he used a combat takedown to slam Billy Ray into the carpet. "Chairman, how do we handle this piece of trash?" Gunner asked. I thought for a moment. He likes forcing himself on women? I won't give him a woman. Give him a sow. Lock him in a pen with a 900-pound pig. Gunner scratched his head. "Chairman, what if he refuses to perform?" "Make him," I said coldly. "For how long?" "Until there are piglets." Billy Ray I thought that was the end of it, leaving me free to deal with Victor Stone. But a few days later, my foster parents called. I didn't know how they got my number, probably Victor Stone's doing. They asked where their precious son was. Why wasn't he answering his phone? "Don't worry," I chuckled. "Billy Ray is living the good life. I have a real beauty taking care of him." They were thrilled, praising my filial piety. Then came the demand. "Your distant Uncle Buck says tomorrow is his 60th birthday. Since you're successful now, you need to send a big red envelope. It's your duty. Don't be rude. I asked which uncle. They told me it was the butcher, the one with the violent temper who slaughtered pigs for a living. I thought for a moment. Is 200,000 enough? I asked. They almost jumped through the phone. 200,000 is plenty. The next day, a dump truck pulled up to Uncle Buck's house in the countryside. Watching via a drone feed, I saw the house decked out in decorations. Uncle Buck, wearing an ill-fitting suit, bragged to everyone about his billionaire nephew sending a $200,000 gift. My foster parents were beaming, hyping me up. The dump truck rumbled into the banquet clearing. The driver stepped out. Who is Julian Thorne's uncle? Your nephew sent 200,000 worth of gifts. Please sign. That's me. That's me. Uncle Buck rubbed his hands greedily. The driver nodded and hit the lever. The hydraulic bed lifted. The tailgate opened. And then, 200,000 pounds of wet, steaming, yellow-brown pig manure slid out, forming a literal mountain of shit. Boom! The smell hit them like a physical blow. The guests scattered, gagging. The banquet was ruined. Sister, this is your son's gift. 200,000 pounds of pig shit. Uncle Buck exploded. He grabbed my foster mother by the collar and pulled out his butcher knife. Explain this, or I'll slaughter your whole family. My foster mother, terrified, stammered. Brother, it must be a mistake. Julian wouldn't do this. Let me call him. The phone connected. She asked why the money was manure. Mom, wasn't this your idea? I said innocently. You said you wanted to humiliate Uncle Buck for that old grudge. Look, I'm busy. When I'm done, I'll bring you both here to enjoy the good life. I hung up. On the screen, I saw Uncle Buck scream. You want the good life? I'll give you hell. A lifetime of violent temper snapped. The butcher knife flashed. He slit both their throats. Some might say borrowing a knife to kill is cruel. To them, I say, don't judge a man's sins until you've walked through his hell. Days later, I learned from my insiders that Victor Stone was organizing a board meeting to restructure the equity. He was lobbying shareholders. In this corporate world, if a shareholder held 51% of the stock, they could remove the chairman. Currently, I held 33%. The largest share. Victor held 27%. Second largest. Victor had secured commitments from smaller shareholders. He planned to execute an on-site transfer during the meeting to cross the 51% threshold. If he succeeded, my reign was over. I began my counterplay. I invited Victor's 3 key allies to a private hot pot dinner. Ally 1, Leonard Duke, 6% stake. Extremely greedy, known for taking bribes on construction projects. Dealing with him was easy. I slapped a file of his crimes on the table. 2 choices. 1, stick with Victor. I hand this to the FBI. You're looking at 15 years. 2, stick with me. I wipe your record clean, and I guarantee Victor won't be able to touch you. Leonard flipped instantly. He raised his glass. Mr. Thorne, say no more. To us. Ally 2, Gordon Banks. 5% stake. Not greedy, very cautious. Hard to crack. Julian, don't waste your breath, Gordon sneered. I'm with Victor. I don't care about money or power. You have nothing on me. I smiled. True, you are cautious, and you and Victor are certainly close. Intimately close. What do you mean? I threw down a stack of photos. Last month, Hong Kong. You and Victor's wife in a presidential suite. You guys play rough. You spied on me. He stood up, furious. I'm just curious. I'm used. Why Victor's wife? Do you have a kink? Or do you just hate him? Imagine what Chairman Victor does when he finds out you've been sleeping with his wife for years. Gordon went silent. Then he raised his glass. Mr. Thorne, I'm yours. Ally 3, Harold March. 7% stake. Victor's protege. Loyal. Betray Victor? In your dreams. Harold shouted. I'm clean. You can't blackmail me. We have nothing to discuss. Did I say we were discussing? I signaled Gunner. Throw him in the river. Yes, sir. Gunner dragged over a 55-gallon drum. Harold panicked. You'd kill me? Are you insane? I pointed out the window at the dark Hudson River. The Hudson is deep. People disappear all the time. He froze, but he still wouldn't break. Loyalty is a hard nut to crack. Luckily, I had a nutcracker. Before you die, a fun fact, I said. Your new young wife? Victor broke her in first. While you were on that business trip, he was in your bed. I tossed the photos. Harold stared at them. A guttural roar erupted from his throat. Victor, you son of a bitch. He downed his drink in one gulp. The restructuring meeting began. Victor Stone knew how to play the long game. He started by critiquing my absence. Chairman Thorne, you've been gone for 5 years. You're out of touch. I propose an executive committee to prevent errors in judgment. Translation, strip my power. I refuse, I said. Then I propose a stock restructuring. Victor smiled, springing his trap. I nodded lazily. Sure. Sounds fun. Victor's eyes lit up. The small shareholders assigned their transfers to him. He was tallying the numbers on a calculator, giddy. But then, his three key allies walked past him and came to me. Chairman, I am transferring my shares to you, Leonard said. Me too, said Gordon. I'm out, Harold said, glaring at Victor. My shares go to Julian. Victor slammed the table. Harold, you traitor. Victor, you dog. You know what you did. Harold screamed back. The final tally. I held 51%. Victor stuck at 34%. I won. I walked behind Victor's chair, leaned down, and whispered, You thought you could fight me? You're not even in my weight class. Victor turned pale. Two choices, I said. 1. Surrender your shares and leave with dignity. 2. Keep your 34%, stay here, and face the consequences. He chose option 2. I'm his second largest shareholder. You can't threaten me. Good luck, I said and walked out. 1 year later, Victor Stone was escorted into a police van in handcuffs. He was looking at life in prison. Poor Victor. Smart all his life, stupid for a moment. There is a story about how to catch a baboon. You put food in a hole in a tree, just big enough for an open hand. The baboon reaches in, grabs the food, makes a fist. But the fist won't fit back through the hole. The hunter approaches with a gun. The baboon refuses to let go of the food. It pulls and pulls. Bang. Victor never let go of the fist. One evening, I took a VIP client, Mr. King, to the Velvet Lounge, the city's most exclusive private club. The manager gave us the Diamond Suite. 2 hostesses entered with service kits. Good evening, sir. I'm Rose, one said, bowing low. Her voice was familiar. I looked up. Beneath the heavy makeup, I recognized her instantly. Tiffany Sterling. She saw me too. Her professional smile shattered. The kit dropped from her hands. Clang. Life is ironic. The woman who dumped me for a $50,000 raise was now kneeling before me, serving me. Julian. Tiffany dropped to her knees, grabbing my hand. Mr. King jumped back in surprise. I can't do this anymore. Please help me. After Titan fired her, she burned through her severance on luxury goods. Credit cards maxed out. Loans piled up. She fell into the debt trap. Desperate, a friend introduced her to the fast money of the club scene. She thought she'd snag a rich husband here. But rich men don't marry the help. She just dug herself deeper into debt. Julian, I'm drowning. Please, for the sake of what we had, save me. She wept, gripping my hand tight. I sat there in silence. A long time passed. Finally, I opened my mouth to speak. Dear reader, the ending is yours to write. Does Julian save her? Or does he pull his hand away? You decide. Story complete.